Ubisoft and AMD together at last. Far Cry 6, it's basically out. Okay, it comes out like tomorrow. But Fidelity FX Super Resolution. I've been rocking this on the ASRock 6900 XT as well as the 6600 XT. Okay, yeah, this is the LG OLED 4K behind me. Yeah, we're rocking 100 FPS average on my 120 hertz display, and yeah, there's something to be said for being able to play a game like this. This isn't really a review of Far Cry 6, there's not really any spoilers, but Far Cry 6 is sort of looty-shooty, I guess. You can watch the trailer and learn a little bit more about it. It has mountain vistas, drives through the country, and non-player characters, and fire effects and water effects, and Fidelity FX Super Resolution really makes the difference from 60, 70, 80 FPS at 4K to 120 plus FPS at 4K, and side by side it is a challenge to see the difference in image quality and fidelity. You can dial this in, of course, if you've got something a little bit weaker like the 6600 XT that's near the bottom of the stack. In the recommended configuration, they're saying that something like a 6800, if you're targeting 60 FPS with ray tracing, that's kind of what they recommend. But this is kind of a showpiece. This is not just a PC game, it's also available on consoles, and Microsoft is putting a lot of marketing dollars into it as well. So on the PC side, which is what I did all of my testing on, thanks to AMD for the early review access, the early review sample to be able to test and sort of poke at it and see what's going on. The visual fidelity, especially on Ultra, really is incredible. Out of the box, the game recommends 60 gigabytes of SSD space, but if you add the HD texture pack, that's another 40 gigabytes. So that means this game could come in at potentially 100 gigabytes. Now without the HD texture pack, you're only going to use about 6 gigs of VRAM, even on Ultra, so those 8 gig VRAM cards, you're definitely not going to be missing out, except unless you go for the HD texture pack. And the HD texture pack, it does look nice. This game is basically a benchmark for other game vendors on what you can do with Fidelity FX Super Resolution, content adaptive sharpening, and other AMD technologies that are rolled into this to give gamers a really good gaming experience that's very immersive. As I'm sneaking around and crawling through the flowers and the grass and stuff, it responds really well to my presence and my crawling around, and it's stealth machete kills. Can you really kill somebody with a machete in a stealth kind of a way? I mean, really? But hey, the grass moves. That's kind of fun, right? I've had a lot of fun playing it in 4K. I've also been playing it in ultra-wide HDR on our BINC 3440 by 1440 monitor. Now, there are some curious things, nothing that I would call bugs, but just some odd things that I'm pretty sure are going to get fixed pretty quickly in a user experience. Some of the cutscenes are 16:9 aspect ratio. Other cutscenes are 21:9. So on the BenQ monitor, when I'm playing and I get one of those 21:9 cutscenes, it is completely surrounded by black bars. Now that makes sense on the LG CX. It's a 16:9 monitor. I get a 21:9 cutscene. I've got black bars at the top and bottom. If I get a 16:9 on the LG CX, or like something happens, like a cinematic type thing, it's still in the game engine. All of it is in the game engine, seems like. Then yeah, it'll fill the screen on the 16:9 aspect ratio display. But on the BenQ monitor, it's just black borders. I don't know why. But, really that's the biggest thing that I have to complain about. There wasn't really any visual glitching, and nothing really terrible happened, and I managed not to, clip through the side of a mountain. I'm usually pretty good at finding stuff like that. Suffice it to say that the performance of the game engine, the stability of the game engine, what I was experiencing, from a player perspective, not necessarily a technical perspective, really tells me that AMD has become a first-class citizen on all things gaming and PC related, because it's not just about the drivers and the experience with the drivers and all the other stuff. It is, can you deliver the experience? And you're going to have special technologies in order to be able to do that. I mean, running this display at 120 hertz is no small feat. And that tells me that AMD is doing everything that it needs to do to satisfy even the most demanding of gamers, because this was a good experience. And if they can do that, Ubisoft can do that with Far Cry 6. Pretty much anybody should be able to do that if they're willing to come together and make it happen. That's my MS-16S. I call her Sasha. I've got a silencer that's made out of, I think, an old windshield wiper fluid bottle. Hey, that's just how we roll in the fictional Republic of Yara, where Far Cry 6 is set. We are freedom fighters, guerrilla, yay. Did I mention there's a trained attack alligator? Oh, I'm sorry, crocodile. It's a crocodile. His name's Guapo. I'm only probably about 3 or 4 hours in because I've been replaying the same things over and over again. The weapons crafting system kind of, sort of reminds me of, like the Tomb Raider type crafting systems where you collect components and then you assemble things together. It's pretty good. It doesn't feel super bolted on, but yeah, you can actually pick at the beginning of the game if you just want story mode or if you want something a little more aggressive, and I just went with the defaults, but the story mode I think makes the enemies a little easier, and it may change the crafting stuff. Not real sure, but there's 2 modes. Man, look at that beautiful mountain vista. It's so relaxing, and you can't see it because of the awful YouTube compression algorithm, but boy howdy, let me tell you, it looks nice. No one has had this much fun fighting for freedom since Eisenhower. That's a Chiquita Banana joke. I'm Wendel, this is level 1, and I'm gonna get back to gaming. Oops, I fell a little too far.